This column on the left hand side is the week beginning column. This week was week beginning the 30th September, so we are in this column this week. We have 4 lessons a week, and they are split thusly. The first lesson is Wednesday period 1, so it's not the 30th of September, but it will be Wednesday, which was the 2nd of October. The same for Wednesday period 3, our second lesson of the week. Thursday period 1 and Thursday period 3 are our third and fourth lessons of the week. Why are they called 1.3, 2.2, 3.2 and 2.3? Well, it's because rivers is unit 1, and it's the third lesson that we've covered over rivers. Same with coasts, unit 2, our second lesson. Cold environments is unit 3. They're also colour coordinated, so rivers is dark blue, coast is reddy orange, and cold environments is light blue. So the lesson focuses, okay, so all of this column is basically in a nutshell what we're covering in each of those lessons. If you look at the notes column, you can see that I have put times where we'll have big homeworks. Also, I want to remind you to watch the tide and storm surges videos if you haven't already before the lesson on Thursday. So the big homeworks are highlighted there, and also where we will do the rivers and coast field trips. So it's going to be 2 trips in one of those 4 weeks. Sorry, 2 of those 4 weeks. If you notice where it's colour coordinated in black, that's because we will be doing a threshold concept mastery task. If you haven't already been told about those in your tutorials, you will learn about those in the future. And as well as that, we will have time to prepare for field trips. That lesson, if we've already been on them, we can use to do tutorials, seminar-based work, and any other kind of revision and learning. As well as that, you can see the highlight in purple there and the highlight in yellow, where we will have our tests. We'll dedicate an entire lesson afterwards on reviewing those tests as well, so you can get some exam practice in, look at exactly what the examiner is looking for within the 4, 6, 9, 25 mark questions, and become more and more confident at mastering what we're learning as we go along. Finally, that last week of term, I've left to set Christmas work, review, revise, and look at exam questions and exam practice before we reflect. What are these 3 columns along the other side then? Okay, these are the tick columns. Now, once you've studied a lesson focusing class, so if you've studied what is a cold environment, which you'll have, you give that here a lovely tick. If you have mastered this, so if you go back in a couple of weeks' time and you've looked over it and you feel that you definitely know exactly what's going on and you can name all the cold environments and their characteristics, then you give it another tick. So I've studied it and I've mastered it. In a few weeks' time, I'll be going back over some of these topics. So let's say when we do the features of cold environment presentations, which is one of your big homeworks that you've set this week, before the lesson, I might say, what's the characteristic of a glacial environment? And you might have to answer that. So we're going to be interleaving that. So if I've interleaved it in a few weeks' time, then you give that a tick. And then in a few weeks' time, say for example, in this blank bit here that's half term, if you go back and you revise cold environments and their characteristics, then you give that a beautiful tick as well. By the end of the year, all of these things will be ticked, and you will go into the exam confident that by May 16th, you will know everything there is to know, because the exam is actually on May 12th, and you will need to know it by then. So, remember that, as long as we know it by May 12th, it's fine. Okay? Those tests are important to see where we're at, but also where we will be in the future after we've learned everything there is to know. That is the AS Geography Delivery Maps in a nutshell. See you in lesson.